As they race up towards the line.
Russell's going along like a winner.
With a photo finish between second and third.
Oh, it was close.
Thanks everyone for joining us. We've got a huge weekend ahead, one of the biggest on the racing calendar, highlighted by the Everest, the richest race in Australia, and the best sprinters go around. Joe, thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
Great. It's a massive weekend again, isn't it?
Yeah,
Group 1, Group 2s, Group 3s, and all those big money races that are features.
Yeah,
Full
that's
on.
it. Pretty much every race, almost every race in Victoria and Sydney in the main tracks is features. So there's lots for punters, lots to watch, and we've pretty much got most of the best going around on the weekend. So it's a really good one to watch and good one to get involved. I have found, Joe, that if you're going to find a winner this weekend, it's going to probably be at odds. I don't know if you've found that as well, but there's not too many shorties going around.
Yeah, not an odds-on week for sure.
No, that's it. Stacked fields and plenty of chances in each, but that means a good chance for some value. There is a lot of features at Caulfield, Gothic Stakes, Sportsbet Classic, Ethereal Stakes. They just sort of go in a row. Alingi Stakes and the 1,000 Guineas Prelude, which will be an interesting one as well. Millennium Sprint over the 1,000. The one we'll first cover is the Caulfield Cup over 2,400. And this is interesting because there's a few ways you can look at this. And the Tancred Stakes with Buckaroo coming out of it was excellent. I thought it's flying this prep. It's put 3 quinella runs in a row. Joe, the Magic Man, is aboard. It's going to be really hard to beat here. Zardozi's had good money. I've always been a fan of Zardozi. I thought the protest was pretty stiff last time out. It's lost by a head to Land Legend. There's a bit of controversy over whether that should have been overturned or not. Land Legend is in this race and does have barrier 1. Ilias comes up with barrier 21. I know Gay Waterhouse said midweek that it's one of the best she's had. Believes that it's got a huge set of lungs and it just stays all day. So respect when she says that. And 3 out of 3 with Tim Clark aboard. And Deny Knowledge, interesting one, barrier 17, but did beat Mr. Brightside. I thought maybe Mr. Brightside a little bit late, but could say it had its chance as well. So that's hot form for this. Plenty of chances. Is there anyone you like in this one, Joe?
Well, considering a lot of the field came through the Turnbull 2 weeks ago that Via Sistina won, I actually like the 2 runner-ups. I like Buckaroo and Elias. Although if you look at the barrier for that, barrier 21, I don't know, I think Gay Waterhouse must have annoyed the barrier gods because I've been noticing she's been getting a lot of visitors' draws out in the car park lately, even at the country tracks. But I like the horses that came second and third behind Via Sistina. They're my top 2 picks. Who are you going for?
Yeah, well, they just know how good she is. So that's probably why she's getting the visitors' car park. It's a really good race. I think Zardozi's on track. I love the last start run. I thought the protest was a bit unlucky. Just 5th up here, rock hard fit, set to peak. I've got to respect what Gay said about Ilias, and I just think even with the barrier, you got Tim Clark, and I think if that finds the right spot, that'll just be so hard to beat again. And Deny Knowledge is obviously, if it can hold its form to beating Mr. Brightside, it's got to be in this. And yeah, no knock on Buckaroo. So I probably will steer clear of a bet with this one. But yeah, I think Zardozi's on track, but either of the 4 I've mentioned wouldn't shock. And it's one of those races, if you could probably back a few and still get it wrong. So tricky Caulfield Cup this year, but plenty of talent in it and some good stayers. The Tristarc Stakes is one I'm keen to bet into, Joe. I think the favourite here is Skybird, who's going along well. Both runs this prep have been good on soft to heavy ground, but Plenty of Ammo is the one I want to be with. I was keen on it fresh. I was keen on it all last prep and didn't have much luck in the run. Was held up along the rails. It drew barrier 1 that day. Got out late. Uncle Bryn surprised at big odds. I think it's on track here. It's 1 out of 1 at the track, and that day that it did win, it led, carrying 60 kilos. I know this is a stacked race, but I just love its upside. I thought that first up run was a big pass mark and might be able to go on with things. But obviously there's so many chances here. Quintessa didn't handle the heavy last start. Miss Ari has got a huge finish on her. Revolutionary Miss landed big bets last start and always is around the mark. Really promising one. The only one I can probably go past is Skybird, and that's the favourite who's coming out of the same race as the ones I just mentioned. So there's probably not a whole lot between these, Joe. I think it's Plenty of Ammo, or it's 3 or 4 of these out of the same race. So I am with Plenty of Ammo. I think 550 is fair enough, and I expect from barrier 13, this looks a target race. I think they'll roll forward, and they know it can just sit on speed and kick all day. So I'm hoping just straight to the front, and 55 kilos, really nice lightweight chance. Do you have anyone in this you like?
I like her too. Yeah, these mares races are tricky, but yes, I do like her. A few weeks back, or a month ago, I would have said Molly Nickers, but both runs this time in hasn't been the horse that it was last preparation.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's sort of bigger odds here. It just hasn't quite gone on with things. But yeah, you're right. Last prep it was going really well. Even the prep prior as well. So handy race. As we said, again, plenty of chances. We'll move over to Randwick. Just I guess keep an eye on the conditions, because it is there is some rain expected. So that's something to take in note for punters there. And a 10 race card here. Lots of features on it. It's pretty much from the get-go. St. Ledger Stakes, the Big Dance wild card, where the country runners are looking to get into the Big Dance, the Reginald Allen quality. The one that we're going to talk about is the Angst Stakes. I am keen to be with Lekvart here. I thought it was a really good first-up run. It's been a horse I've either been on or found hard to catch. It does get back in the run, but it's got a booming finish. And this looks a nice race for us. I just think it ripped home last start, and it'll only be suited up in trip. Just needs a back to follow. Don't really know what to do with Hinged at the moment, Joe, because it's been a long time since Hinged has won. But the best version of Hinged would take this out, and it should go close. It's a quality runner. It's both its runs, or it's had 2 or 3 runs this prep that have been quite good. The run prior was second behind Buckaroo, so that's obviously big form for this. We've touched on Buckaroo, and Zlotys has been 15s into 7s. I really liked it last start, and it was just nosed out. I thought it was a good run, but it is a bit harder here, and I think the race maybe falls apart a little bit. But again, there is plenty of chances in this, but I do think Lekvart can run really well in this with a back to follow at the right time from barrier 14. I don't mind it drawn wide, because it just likes to settle off the speed anyways, and it's 3 out of 5 on this track and 4 out of 8 at this trip. So ticking all the boxes. I'm with Lekvart. Do you like anyone in this, Joe?
I think I'm going to leave this alone. I think what you just said a moment ago, that at its best Hinged could win, is definitely right, because you just look at the prize money they've won. Hinged just won $2 million, and none of the others are anywhere up near the $1 million, apart from Lekvart, I guess, 780,000. But yeah, I think this is as a race I'll leave alone.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Hinged is contested with some of the best of the best. Like it's definitely, if it finds its Buckaroo run, it'll really take it up to this field. But yeah, I'm going with the track and trip specialist, and that is Lekvart, and it's placed just under 50% of its runs. So I just think in each way go here. But yeah, just have to keep in mind how open this is yet again. Another stacked field. The next one we'll touch on is the Kozciuszko. So this is for country trainers. It's always a good race. I know I was absolutely all in for Edit a few years ago when it was held up on the rails. It still haunts me every year. This year, though, we've got Front Page, who's looking for a hat trick, and James McDonald, barrier 5. They keep it really lightly raced, Front Page, and just fresh off a break. I think they've worked out how it races best. So it's coming into this off a break. It's just knows how to. It'll just be there in the finish, regardless of how wide it is. And from barrier 5 and James McDonald, can't imagine it'll be too wide. The one that is going to be hard to hold out late is Far Too Easy. Generally settles off the speed, but barrier 1, I'm not sure what they'll do. Boom Talk and Gallant Star, both really good upside. Gallant Star, big win first up. On track for this, and Compelling Truth just keeps winning. I mean, it's 9 from 17, and this prep is flying. Rock Hard Fit and Tribeca Star also has been around sort of Queensland areas and Sydney as well, so it's been around a bit. and that'll be hard to beat. Joe, do you like anyone in the Cozzy this year?
I kind of want to see how Compelling Truth goes. That almost picket fence for the last 7 runs, just one that wasn't a winner out of the last 7. That's pretty impressive. So that might be my each way horse there. And
Yeah,
front
it is
page,
flying. It's just
front page, as you said, it's won it twice. Goes well first up. It's an 8-year-old. I'd love to see it do it again, though.
that's it. It's just a war horse. It knows how to just stay all day. I know that it's had a few sort of gut busting runs and it just doesn't lay down. So that'll be extremely hard to beat yet again. Loves racing here, loves this kind of race. I'm sure to be set for it. And James McDonald with a good draw, very hard to go past. Stacked field, I'm not too sure myself, Joe. I think it's probably the ones you touched on. I do like the way Compelling Truth is going. I think that you can only win, and it's been beating what's been ahead of it. So it is flying. I think that'll be the one to beat. But it'd probably steer clear this year, and there is no edit in the race, so I can't bet on it. We've got the Sydney Stakes, follows the Cozzy. We'll touch on the Everest last. Silver Eagle is in there as well. The one I'll touch on here is the King Charles. This is a cracking race. Pride of Jenny was just, and again, outstanding last start. Going to be super hard to beat yet again. She's just so honest. She'll be up on speed. And again, just a clear one to beat. Fangirl, super classy. A household name for punters across Australia. And she'll settle just off a hot speed. It'll just be a matter of timing with the run. James McDonald, barrier 4, can imagine should get every chance. Chow Wolf was a huge win last start. I know there's big raps on this runner. It does look well placed here. This will be off the hot speed from Pride of Jenny. It'd be hard to beat. Surely rattling home at the business end of things. Celestial Legend, not too sure where it's at this prep. I don't think it's come back as well as some would have hoped. It is a quality runner, but I just hope to have seen a bit more from it this prep, to be honest. Definitely is good enough to give this a shake. Just has to lift on current form. Amelia's Jewel. I know that Amelia's Jewel is your edit, so she's probably the knockout chance in this. This is the kind of race she'll win, won't she, Joe? and haunt you. But look, I think she's probably over the odds now at $18. You look at her SPs overall. I know she's versing some stars here, but let's not forget that Pride of Jenny and her can be tied together not that long ago. So if she finds her best, she's definitely in the mix. I'm going to be boring here and stick with Jenny. I'm just finding she's been good to me. She's flying this prep. I just think, apart from that first up run, we had a few people sort of say, "Oh, she's hasn't come back well." But second to Mr. Brightside, and then when Very Brave and last start was just outstanding again. I do concede that the setup last time it was a platter. It was Moonee Valley, no toe into the race, small field. You just couldn't see anything other than a win for her. But this is harder. I can just see her leading and Fangirl and Chow Wolf ripping home, and that just looks the race to me. But Amelia's Jewel could bob up. But Pride of Jenny for me, Joe, I think that and Fangirl, Quinella and Chow Wolf, the trifecta, I think they're the 3. And the market probably looks about right for me. I think $2 is fair for Jenny. Have you got anyone in this?
I'm going similar to you, but there's only 4 mares in the race, and I'm going for a mare trifecta. Pride of Jenny, Fangirl, Amelia's Jewel.
Yeah, you've got to throw Amelia in there. You just have to do it. You have to. For those who don't know, Joe did have a big multi going, and Amelia was the last leg. It was short odds that day, so I feel for you. We've got the Everest, the big one of the day. This is $20 million, so it's a super, super, super race this year. You've got the crop of, I guess, the older ones. 6-year-old Gelding at the moment is a favourite, all the way down to a 4-year-old mare, Jolly Star, Growing Empire as well. A 3-year-old colt is just on the up. Traffic Warden also 3-year-old colt. So it's a really good race, and one that there's form lines galore coming from different places. Just going through them briefly, I Wish I Win I think it's on track. 2 runs so far at Moonee Valley. It's just not a Moonee Valley horse. I think we know what to expect from I Wish I Win. It won't be near the speed. It'll be off them, and it'll be rattling home. So it's going to be super hard to beat. I think if it finds a back, it can win. The one I'm not going to be with Joe is Jolly Star. Look, I think it's got great upside. I know that the second up run, they said it was underdone and a bit off that day. It was $1.80 versus Sunshine in Paris. I just don't know if I can have it favourite in a race like this. I just think it's a bit risky. I know its best would definitely go close, but yeah, I don't know if so far from what I've seen if I could get involved at the price. Growing Empire, I know that Willow copped a bit of stick for his ride. People thinking he stopped on the line. Some say it just ran out of fuel, but either way, it's right up to this test. It looks like it's flying. Traffic Warden, huge chance, I think. Second to Broadsiding, he was unlucky last weekend, and there's just good wraps on this runner. Barrier 2, 53 kilos, good setup. The one I'm with, Joe, I'm going with Bella. I just think she's just constantly underrated. At $2.88 the place right now, I think she'll be in the finish. Wide draw doesn't matter. She's run from barrier 17 and almost won the Stradbroke. This just looks a really good race for her. I think she's airborne this prep, just missed IME, very unlucky first up, and then last start probably should have won again. You know what to expect from her. She'll be in the finish. She could draw barrier 20 and she'll still be in the finish. Sunshine in Paris, next line of betting. Going well. Good win first up. Don't know whether that's the right form for this, but has to be respected. And Storm Boy tends to miss the jump, but does come out of that broadsiding Traffic Warden form race and in the mix. And then doesn't end there. Giga Kick, next line of betting. The Stradbroke winner, Steffi Magnetica, and IME as well. And even Private Eye, who's overlooked here. It's been unlucky so far in its few runs, and it's hasn't been far off IME and Bella. So who do you like, Joe? Who are you going this year?
This is really tough. It'll be such a rough and tumble, with such big prize money. Everything's wants to win it. I think also I haven't picked the winner since 21 when the Nature Strip won. And then the trifecta from last year are all running. The trifecta from the year before are all running. I like Bella Nipotina too because she's won at the track, the distance, soft, heavy. She's done it all. And I also kind of like Storm Boy as well, even though he's 13-1. And I think when you look at the prices, think about it. Who won last year is around $67. Giga Kick, who won it the year before, is also at long odds. So, yeah, I'm sort of tending towards Bella just because of consistency.
Yeah, I've actually got the exact same quinella as you. I've got Bella on top. I think she's just ticks every box, and if there's any chink in any armour, she'll be the one. It's as Kieran Mayer said earlier in the interview, she's been outstanding from wide draws in the past. So I honestly probably prefer her there. In a field like this, they'll go fast, and she's been drawn in her past two runs, barrier 1 and barrier 5. And I'm a fan of Willow. I think he times them well often, but I do think both runs she's been unlucky this prep. Probably should have won both. Maybe that's why she's $9 and not $5 here. So I've got her on top. I think she's been overlooked by markets. I could switch her with Jolly Star and have Jolly Star 10s. I'm happy to take the egg on the face. And Stormboy was also who I had second. I just think outstanding first two runs, really good, just behind Traffic Warden. And that day was slow out, didn't have much go right, and it was $1.90. So if it's $13 and Traffic Warden's $7.50, then got to keep that in mind. Stormboy does look the best value. So if we can lob the quinella, Joe, it'll pay well because everyone wants to get involved in this race. So we'll see how we go. But that's anyone involved with the Everest with both Joe and I. We've got Bella Nipotina on top, Stormboy second, and then it's probably just a big raffle for the rest. It's 6 or 7 chances all the way. I think Private Eye can probably get top 3, and he's $27. So really good field there. That wraps up Everest Day. Don't forget to check out SmartB for the sports update. Follow them on their socials. We'll have all selections up on Back a Winner and SmartB as well, where you can get your odds comparison. And Thanks for joining me, Joe. Good luck everyone this weekend. It's a huge one, so hopefully it's a happy punting day.
As they race up towards the line.
Bryce is going along like a winner. With a photo finish between second and third.
Oh, it was close.